Sons of Anarchy was a huge show for the Comic-Con crowd and just a huge hit in general. I mean, talk about kind of revisiting this world, but with a new take. I mean, what inspired you to write this?
That was Kurt Sutter. You know, he was thinking about this even when Sons of Anarchy was still on the air, and what the best way to keep telling the story. And we're so proud to be part of that legacy and part of that mythology. So we're just trying to do the same thing with Mayans M.C., put everything that we have into that.
So there's already a fan base, and we want to live up to an expectation that's already been set, but also create our own journey, our own road.
I think what Kurt has done, what Kurt has curated from the beginning, is just to have people tell the stories in a different way, right? He knew that he had to have other voices come on. And, you know, I've said this before, but television has been telling stories about black and brown characters as criminals forever, right? And usually as one-dimensional, just stereotypes. And a lot of the people in the show, as Kurt will say himself, some of our actors have more jail time than screen time. And from myself and to other people, that we came from this cycle of poverty, we came from this cycle of violence and this cycle of incarceration, and for the first time we get to tell our own stories, right? We're not making the Brown Cosby show. First of all, because Kurt's not slipping anything into our drinks, but also we're telling the story in a way that's never been told before, you know, from the inside out instead of the outside in, how it's always been told before this.
It's an interesting subject, right? I mean, there's a lot in that world. For me as an actor, all I can tell you is that we're not here to fill some sort of quota. This isn't like, oh, we have to have a diverse version of Sons or another, you know, TV show with diversity. What I love about this show is that it simply takes the camera off of Sons of Anarchy and just moves it over to the Mayans. The Mayans were established in Sons of Anarchy. So it's still the same world. Now, along with that, because we are mainly Latino or you know, we have ethnicity or minorities, whatever you want to call it, you're going to get that culture. So it is different in that sense. You're being introduced to the culture, which is different than, you know, the Sons of Anarchy. But I hope everybody tunes into this because it's a universal story. And especially with the character that I play, Easy, he's a prospect and he's coming up. And it's about a young man trying to establish his own life after a tragic event, coming from prison and getting his feet back on the ground and creating his own identity. It's survival. And I think we all face that in some way. You know, it's a struggle. So hopefully they watch that, they get it, they're entertained by it, and they don't feel that just because they're not Latino or whatever ethnicity they are. I just hope that they love the story and they're entertained.
We stand on our own in terms of just having the Mayans MC be its own thing, and we're just fortunate enough that we get to, it stems off from that wonderful world of Sons of Anarchy. But what I will say is this is a family story. It's your family that you're born into and the family that you choose and the conflict that creates. And these are human tales, beautifully executed and beautifully written. And I think they're all relatable, wonderful, powerful people who audience members will learn their names immediately and want to watch them for seasons and seasons.